everyone, it's Rhea Stewart here, and today's video we will be discussing the topic of why you should choose a realtor, or why you should use a realtor to either purchase or sell your home. So you've decided that you want to buy a home. What's the first thing you do? Some people get started purely by driving around. They see a house that they like from the inside. Hey, maybe I want to buy that home, and they call the number on the sign to find out more about the home. And my friends, I'm here to tell you that is probably one of the worst things that you can do, especially if you end up buying the home. Now that might sound like, wait, what? Well, how else am I supposed to find out about that home? Well, you need to use a realtor or a real estate agent, but you shouldn't necessarily use the same person who has listed the home. And here is the reason why. If you are deciding to buy a home and you haven't hired a real estate agent to work on your behalf, and you just use the agent who's also representing the home, you have to realize you are not their client. Their client is the person who listed the home, not you. You are now considered a customer unless you sign a very specific buyer brokerage agreement. And even if you do sign a buyer brokerage agreement with that real estate agent for the same house that you want to purchase, you have to understand your real estate agent is going to be negotiating for you against their other client. And think about it, how fair can that really get? It's pretty much impossible to have one person representing two people who are not necessarily working against each other, but whose wants and needs are a serious clash, right? Because you as the buyer are trying to get the best deal, and their seller is trying to make the most money. So how can that person legitimately represent you? Now, in a lot of cases, many agents say, hey, I do not do what is called dual agency, meaning I'm a dual agent for both people on both sides of the transaction. But what will happen a lot of times, if people are on a team or in the same brokerage, there will be what is called designated agency. So one agent will represent the home seller and the other agent will represent the buyer. And that's really what you want in the case of when you are trying to purchase a home. But even better yet, the first thing that you should do before you even call any kind of sign is to locate a real estate agent for you. Now I'm going to talk in a whole nother video about how to find the best real estate agent for you, but you want that real estate agent working on your behalf because they are going to get you the most house for your money. All right, so the real estate agent, it is their job to basically, it is the real estate agent's job to take an inventory of all your needs and all your wants and all of what you can actually accomplish. Basically, how much money you can actually afford, is it a reasonable distance from your job, things like that. They take all of those things and they kind of synthesize it to help show you properties that are really going to be best suited for you. So as buyers, whether we are buying a huge purchase such as a house or maybe a pair of shoes, we tend to buy from the heart. We are not necessarily working very, sensibly. Let me put it that way. So when you're buying a house, the idea may be, well, I want to live in this certain neighborhood because of the status, or I need a house that looks brand new because it's going to look great in my Instagram pictures. And I know that seems kind of silly, but people do buy that way, right? Or I need to have 5 bedrooms because I need lots and lots of space, right? And so the idea is, these are all the things we want, but what about what you actually need? And what about what you can actually afford? So bringing that real estate agent is kind of like using a coach or even a therapist to help you really get to the root of your issue and determine what it is that you actually need to be where you are going to be. So that is one of the reasons why you need that real estate agent. We are there to be your brains, okay? And not to work emotionally. It is still our job to be the logical one in this whole transaction. If you've bought a home before or sold a home before, you are well aware that emotions get thrown into the mix all the time. It's not only a huge investment, but you're talking about a serious life change. And so because there's all those emotions there, real estate agents are actually there to hold your hand and guide you through that process. The reason why you want to make sure you use a realtor is because they are there to do the negotiating for you. When you hire a real estate agent to represent you, you are bringing an expert, okay? So they can be the go-between. Let's be honest, if you're not trained in real estate law, then you are not the expert. So whether you are thinking about purchasing a home without a real estate agent, or even selling your home without a real estate agent, like a for sale by owner, there's a lot of questions that you need to consider. Like, for instance, how do you know that you have the best rate from your mortgage broker? Or how do you know that the lender that you're working with is one who is reputable and has your best interests at heart? Good real estate agents are going to have several lenders to offer you that have been vetted. Not, they're vetted, they're tried, they're true. That they'll be able to say, hey, go to these people, they're going to do the best thing for you, right? If you are selling your home and you're thinking about selling your home on your own, I have questions like this for you. How do you plan on selling your home? It's 2 p.m., you have to be at work, somebody really wants to see your home, you can't fit it into your schedule until 3 days or until the weekend. Do you know how much opportunity you have lost to get your home sold when you have a real estate agent working for you while you are at work? They can make sure that people get in to see your home despite your calendar, despite your availability, okay? So that's one thing to consider. Another thing, if you're considering being a for sale by owner, another thing to consider is when you finally do have someone who comes in and wants to buy your home, how are you going to verify that they have the money that they say they have? It sounds kind of crazy that someone would offer to buy your house and then at the last minute they just don't come through with the funds. But it has happened time and again. I've heard of plenty of for sale by owners getting burned in a situation like this. They're already moving on to the next place and then their buyer backs out. When you're working with a real estate agent, there is a means to recoup money from transactions that fail and it's the fault of the buyer. How are you going to do that if you are a for sale by owner? What are you going to do for the title search, right? How are you going to make sure that that money legitimately gets transferred to your account before you hand over the keys to your new buyer? How do you know that the person coming to view your home isn't a serial axe killer? Like, these are things to seriously consider. And I promise you, if you're already a for sale by owner, number one, you've probably been bombarded left and right by real estate agents who are trying to represent you and get you the most money for your home. But you've also probably been bombarded by people who are saying, hey, will you do like a rent to own kind of deal? Hey, could I maybe lease purchase your home? And just all sorts of people who are picking stuff up off the internet as to how to get a house without giving any really money. And a lot of it can get confusing. Some of it sounds good, but in the end, it just ends up being a big headache and putting you out of a lot of money. So use a real estate agent. Another reason to use a real estate agent, especially if you are a buyer, is so you can have access to off-market homes. Now, sure, I can sit up on Zillow all day long, Redfin, whatever the website is, and pull up homes for sale and call the agent associated with each and every home, but I'm just gonna keep spinning my wheels, right? The house that I really want isn't even on the market yet. When you are working with a realtor, they have access to off-market properties, especially if they are on a team. And understand, a team is not necessarily the same as a brokerage, okay? So for instance, I am on a team. We have several listings that are lining up waiting to get on the market. Maybe there's some few things that they're tying down before we can actually go live. But one of the beautiful things of having that team structure is the whole team is aware of those off-market properties, and we can tell our clients, hey, you know what? You said you needed a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home that has a full finished basement on the golf course, and we actually have one that's going to be listed pretty soon. The beauty of working with a realtor who is able to offer you off-market properties before they get listed is that you get to jump ahead of the rush, because once homes go live, there's an initial influx or rush or whatever. You may be able to avoid a multiple contract offer. You can get in that home and like swoop it up before anyone else has the chance to get to it. And if you're like me, something like that is very important. Likewise, if you are a person who is listing your home, if you are selling your home, especially if you work with a well-known team, the beauty of that is, like I said, there's several agents who are already marketing the property to all of their clients before your home even goes live. Last month, my team has already had 2 homes that were sold like that because we were already marketing it to our clients before it went live. And they were swooped up. And then of course, you know, there are several upset people who are like, oh, I just called about this house, I saw it, it just went live today. Sorry, it's already sold, because we were already marketing it, making our clients aware that, hey, this property is coming available soon. Get ready. Get ready, because if you want it, it's yours. Let's do this thing. Finally, one of the main reasons why you should use a real estate agent is because there is a ton of paperwork and a ton of legalese, and there are a zillion deadlines that have to be met in order for you to move into your home on time, when you want, without any glitches, and again, to save you the most money possible. And real estate agents are trained to make sure that they're meeting all of those deadlines, that all of that is getting done. They're doing it for you. They are conducting the title search for you. They are going to contact your inspection person. They're going to be back and forth with the bank to make sure that that money is going to come through on time, that the appraisal gets scheduled and is completed on time, that walkthrough is done. For if you are a buyer, they're making sure that the seller is getting everything that they said they would completed. If you are the seller, they're making sure the buyer's money is lined up. Like, all of these things the real estate agent handles for you, so it can be as stress-free as possible. And believe me, you do not want to go through such a huge life-changing process without someone who knows what they're talking about. Even if you bought or sold a home 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the rules have changed, the market has changed, things have changed. Trust a real estate agent to, you know, guide you through that process. You want someone who has your back to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. So that's it for me. I know there's plenty of more reasons why you should use a realtor when you are purchasing or selling your home, but those are the ones that were just immediately at the top of my head. If you have any questions in terms of real estate, let me know. Leave them below. Shoot me an email. I can't wait to hear from you. It doesn't matter if you are in my market or not. I will get the answer to you. I will talk to you all next time. Bye.